Alright, so I'm going over the Camaro tonight, and as you can see, got the turbo off, kind of starting the winter upgrades and checking over everything. Just for those of you that aren't familiar with the car, the combination, it was a 6 liter, 364 cubic inch, rods, pistons, pretty much all your bolt-on stuff after that, nothing crazy. About 10 to 1 compression on E85, blow-through carburetor, CSU, and the S485 forced inductions turbo. Car's been super reliable. I've had this combination together now for about 5 years, and this winter I'm deciding to upgrade to the 102 turbine on the turbo. It was the S485 96 millimeter turbine, and then 132 exhaust housing. So we're going to go to that 102. It's been out for a while. Figured why not try the upgrade this winter. I don't really feel like I hit the wall or the limitations of the turbo as it was, but I know I was getting close. The car was making 1189 rear wheel the way it was this season in 2019 here. So I know I was going to be getting close, and I want to turn it up a little bit. That was on 22 pounds. My goal is about 25 pounds. So, well, I'll just put it this way. It's going to be on 25 pounds in 2020. I've been real cautious with the setup, and it's been together for many years, and I haven't heard anything. Being real cautious, but it's time. It's time to turn it up now. So I think the goal for 2020 is going to be around that 1300 rear wheel. I'm not chasing dyno numbers. Basically what I'm doing is just checking my mile an hour, quarter mile and eighth mile to the weight of the vehicle and seeing where I'm at. It's pretty accurate. I know some people like to argue about that, but I've checked it with many combinations that I have dynoed, and it's pretty much spot on. So we're going to push it for about another 110, 120 horsepower, and I think this new turbo will get us there. I'm going to make another video once I get the turbo back, show you guys what they did to it. But no, just going over the winter to-do list and kind of checking out a few things. The last few times I had it out this season, it was doing really well. I can say this is actually the last 3 times out this season. Every single time we got a new personal best, and each pass was faster than the pass previous. So we literally went like 8 new personal bests in a row between the last 3 times out. So pretty cool. I'm happy with that. It's hard to beat that. It doesn't always happen. Drag racing seem to always break something. But no, just checking it over. And with that being said, when I last had it out, I had the anti-roll bar a little bit out of adjustment, and the reason is I added these braces on the axle tubes, and when I did that, I repositioned the anti-roll bar back a little bit further, and I set it at a neutral position for there was no preload on either link, and normally I would have an 1/8 inch of preload into the right rear. It'd be a little bit longer. The last time out it was squatting to the right rear, so I knew I needed to add that preload back. So I went ahead and did that tonight. Did confirm, yep, it was still at the neutral position with it on the ground and roughly my weight in the driver's seat, and then went ahead and jacked it up and added that about a quarter of an inch, 1 full turn of preload. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to get a few things accomplished this winter on it. Got a few more updates that I'm thinking about doing. Coming to the limitations of a few different things on the car. You guys seen in a couple previous videos, I built the power glide for this combination, and I still actually have that 350 turbo in the car. Never got it in this season. Knock on wood, never had a reason to. That was always my plan, is if I break this 350 turbo, I'm going to put the glide in. Luckily it didn't break, so we're going to roll with it again this season. Man, that thing doesn't owe me nothing. It's been great, but I know it's got to be coming, so we'll see. It might impress me. It has up until this point, but we do have a backup plan in case we heard it. But no, just going through a few different things, looking over a few things, thinking about different updates, and just wanted to kind of give you guys where we're at with the combination and what we're thinking about this winter. Possibly changing some things around in the cage. It has some extra bars in it right now. I might add a few more. Parachute is long overdue, so we'll see. I don't know. I like the look of the car the way it is, and I know that does not sound very intelligent, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and get a chute for it and then come up with a removable bracket that I can just probably go right in here, fold the license plate down or remove it, install it, and then when I'm not at the track, I can take it back out. I just hate the look of a street car with a chute hanging off the back, and some people are like, what? I love that look. Well, it's not really what I'm going for with this car. I've always kept this car to look like a street car. Once you have a chute hanging off the back of it, it doesn't quite look as much as a street car, and that's personal preference, so that's just me. But for safety at the track, I'm due for it, so that'll probably be on the plans this winter. A few more bars in the cage will probably be in the plans, and turn this thing up, get the new turbo on. Might redo some brake lines in the rear, and just really want to just go over the car really well. I already switched out the water with the coolant additive to antifreeze. I've got that ready for this winter. I always take the carburetor apart and I put WD-40 or penetrating oil in the bowls to make sure nothing corrodes. That's all taken care of. So that side of things is ready to go for the winter, but it's like, all right, what else are we going to do as terms of updates? And so far, turbo, cage, parachute is on my list. Fuel pump, I am getting close. I did do the calculations the other night, and roughly off the top of my head is we'll say this fuel pump's good for like 1,650 horsepower, something like that on E85. I plan on pushing this combo to 1,300 rear wheel. It gives me right about 100 horsepower margin of error, if that makes sense, in case for some reason it's not pumping as much as it should. So I should be absolutely fine. There's going to be enough there to make the power that I want, but I'm thinking about upgrading that still. So I'm going to look into a couple options there. But really and truly, it's just going to be little things this winter. This season, 2019 season, I hit every goal I had for the car. Boost levels were below what I honestly intended to go to 25 this year, just never had the opportunity. Some of the tracks we went to weren't too great, and not necessarily their fault, just condition-wise. So we just didn't really have a good opportunity to turn it up to 25. The last outing was the highest boost, and we hit 23 for just honestly a few tenths into the run, but it was a solid 22 pounds from about 1.3 seconds into the run, but that actually, there's like a delay in it. It really doesn't all come in until about 1.6 seconds or so in actual real time. But that was a solid pass. We got that. The other thing I did notice, just checking over the boost controller, which I'm still using the boost lease with the pulse. Haven't had it updated, which I might send that in to get it updated. That's this guy right here. But that thing's been doing awesome for me. But what I did notice is I'm still pulling boost out at 5.8 seconds into the run. So I'll just give you guys a quick reference. I've got 23, I think is the number, 22 pounds of pressure on the dome of the wastegate, which what I'm talking about here is this is the dome of the wastegate, so this line coming in. 23 pounds to the top of this. Well, At 5.8 seconds, I cut that down to about 18. It was either 18 or 19. And the reason why I was doing that is just in case back pressure started to come up later in the run. I was pulling some dome pressure off to help it relieve. It would drop boost down a little, but I want to say it was like 2 pounds. So if it was at 22, it dropped to 20. Yeah, I don't really think there was a need for it. I didn't see any signs for it. I was just being extra cautious. So I think what I will do is leave it the way it is for the new testing with the new turbo. And then after we get that dialed in, I'll start to leave the boost in longer and see how it responds to that. So got a few things I can see to improve on. Rear shock settings needed changed around a little bit as well. So there's definitely some improvement left. Our best 60 foot this year was a 122. The car weighs roughly 3360, right in there with me in it. So I was pretty happy with that. But watching the video and kind of even the in car, it wants to shake the tire pretty good, even on that pass. So got a few things I need to do there. I'm going to try tightening up the rear shocks, but a couple other things I want to check into before I just go ahead and do that, with some torque arm adjustments. It's still a torque arm car. But yeah, just giving you guys an update and just kind of spitballing some ideas of what I'm thinking about this winter. And if you guys like this kind of content, just go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll continue to make this kind of video. Any questions also, just put it in the comments. I'll tell you guys anything you really want to know. I don't like throwing times out too much, but I will at a later date here. We'll let you guys in on a few things. It's nothing crazy, but this thing does pretty well for what it is. Thanks, guys.